everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jessica. Thank you so much for tuning in. For today's video, we are doing a tutorial and first impression on this look right here with this beautiful palette of TATI Beauty. But before we jump into the palette, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you like anything beauty, lifestyle, and anything in between. But we're gonna go ahead and jump right in. Actually, before we jump right in, I kind of wanted to address something here on my channel. I can't put this sweetly, but unfortunately my house caught on fire a few weeks ago. Everyone is okay, thankfully my dogs are okay, but I wanted to address this because I've been on such a roll, uploading Monday, Wednesday, Friday 3 times a week, and I've really been enjoying doing that. And I know the last thing I should be worrying about is filming and uploading, but this has been something that I don't want to cry. I've really been enjoying doing, and I want to continue doing. Hello, my name is Jessica, and I'm crying on my channel. Anyway, it's something that I want to continue doing, and for the next couple months, I'm probably not going to be able to upload 3 times a week anymore. I'm not going to be able to get it together. I'm aiming to upload once a week. And fortunately, I'm able to film at my boyfriend's house, and I don't have a home right now to film at. I was doing so well, and I was like trying not to cry. But fortunately, I'm able to film at my boyfriend's house, and though I'm here a lot, it's not as convenient as filming at my house. So I'm gonna try getting a video out once a week. And I know I don't have like thousands of followers and get so many views, but again, it's been something that I've really been enjoying doing and prioritizing, and it's something that I want to continue doing, not only for, you know, YouTube for myself, because again, I really enjoy it. So I think I need to be pushing out these videos to kind of like get my mind off of things. For the very few that watch my videos, thank you so much for continuously watching my videos. If you are new here, sorry for spilling all this emotional juice on you guys, but thank you so much for clicking on this video. But now we're actually going to go ahead and jump right into the tutorial. Alright, so here is the palette. I like how she put herself on the inside of the box. It's a nice matte slip, kind of velvety. The only issue I see with this is like fingerprints and all that fun stuff. But I mean, it's not white. If it was a lighter color, you would tell more, but that's just something that comes with packaging like this. I normally don't use slip, so I'll probably get rid of this. Honestly, I know people like to preserve the slip, but it's just an extra step that I don't like, but to each their own. The palette, however, I already opened it. It is, you can already see the fingerprints, but it's so pretty. It has the gloss in gold as opposed to the slip. It's just a gray embossed. And you open this, and it is such a pretty palette. I know there's a lot of palettes that have similar tones, but I love the layout of it. I love how each shade doesn't have its specific name, but it has the color story on the bottom of each column. So you have Memory, which is these like black charcoals. You have Ritual, which are the browns. You have Story, which is probably the warmest in this palette. You have the oranges. Soothe, which are neutral browns, and you even have like these bronzy tones right here. You have Aura, which is the nice white shades, and the shimmery shade up here looks super pretty, and it has some purple and green flecks in it. I really like that. And then there is Poet, which has your more purple shades, very neutral. Overall, it's a very neutral palette, which is great, especially for beginner-friendly looks, because the more you tap into warmer shades and colors that are on the deeper side, that's when you can kind of, I would say it gets a little bit harder, it's easier to mess up that way or be heavy-handed. When it's something more neutral, it's a little bit easier to play with. So this is a well put together palette. There's so many things you can do with this. There's so many colorways you can do, even though each column has its respective color story. You can really do a lot, mix and match. You can tap into the glitters and so on and so forth. So far it's untouched. I really like it. And then a huge plus is the mirror. I don't want to blind you guys, but it is a nice hefty mirror. It's not one of those mirrors that warps your face. It's not a cheap mirror, and you can see your entire face, which I really appreciate. I don't like, obviously it depends on the sizing of the palette, but I don't like when the palette is like a decent size and the mirror is just like a slit. You know which brand I'm talking about? There's one specific brand that does that. But anyway, so far so good. So I'm not going to swatch every single shade because there's a lot. I'm gonna get one of each of different formulas. So I'll start with, I think I'm gonna start from the glitter of this one and just work my way down kind of, because we all kind of know what black and like brown looks like, and I really want to see what this matte one looks like swatched. Oh, and I failed to mention, obviously, like I said, it has its respective color stories in each column. It also is labeled your glitter shade, obvious, metallic shade, sequin shade, and then matte. So the difference between matte and sequined is there's a little bit more of a pearl finish to it. There's a lot more shimmers to it as opposed to metallic. That one's probably going to be more like a metallic swipe, and then obviously the glitter. So these, I would say you can even get away with using the sequin one on your crease if you would like to do that, but that's a good label when you're talking about formulas, and that's especially beginner friendly when you don't know what kind of eyeshadow they're talking about and what kind of finish. So getting glitter on the Memory. That is kind of like a chunky glitter, but I can definitely see you kind of pack stuff on. And it's not like crumbling either, which is a plus when it comes to glitter, but that is for sure like a thick, chunky glitter without being annoying. It's not bothersome to the eye yet. I mean, it's not on my eye, so can't speak that soon, but it doesn't feel like it. Now dipping into Ritual right here. These, I'm actually getting a decent amount of pigment without really getting in there, which is a plus. I'm gonna go ahead and swatch that one right next to. That looks really pretty. That's a nice like coppery neutral shade. I want to do one more layer if there's a difference. I mean, even with that was a one swipe. Let's do a double time. That is really pretty. That is pretty much like a true coppery penny shade, and that is in the metallic formula. Going into the story column, I will be grabbing a sequin shade, the one that is like a orangey. It's kind of, I feel like this is the warmest area of the palette. That was one swipe. That is beautiful. Like literally the under shadow is super matte. Like I don't want to say dry in a bad way, but it's so matte, like the mattest it can be, with that pretty really fine shimmer in it. That's a really nice formula off the bat. Like hand swatches sometimes are a little bit more difficult, and it can go both ways. You can do a really good swatch on your hand and then you apply it to your eyelid and it's just not there, like it's not like the swatch. Or sometimes people really underestimate the swatch and it doesn't come out right, and they automatically think off the bat that the shadow is not going to be a good one. And on the eyelid, it works out like a dream. So even though I do love swatches, I'm not gonna lie, if something swatches really well, I get super excited, but I don't let it kind of hinder how I'm gonna feel. I still apply it because sometimes a swatch doesn't do it justice. Sometimes eyeshadows blend out naturally more than a swatch. So that's something to keep in mind. But that being said, this is a really great single-handed swatch. Didn't go in double, so I'm really excited to see how the rest of that formula plays out. In the Soothe column, I'm going to go back into the sequin formula. Okay, again, pretty much just a matte base with a nice shimmer to it. One swatch. That is really good. That's really nice. Again, you saw that that was one swipe. And it's a pretty even coverage throughout that entire swatch. So that's a good sign. You can't really see the shimmers as much as the orange one, just because the orange one is more vibrant. So obviously you're gonna see that more. I really think the sequin formula would work beautifully for those kind of like, you know, right now the Euphoria looks are a huge thing, a lot of sparkles and rhinestones, and usually a lot of people go against with putting like a shimmery shade on your crease. I feel like those would work out beautifully because one, it has the base of the matte shadow with a little bit of very fine shimmer in it, so that can blend out beautifully and really be utilized in that crease shade. So that's some way you can use it. So for the aura column, I'm gonna actually swatch two of the shades. I'm gonna do the one on the top. That glitter is really calling my name. I love those shades in there. And then the matte shade as well. Just wanna show you that was one swipe. I don't even know where I can fit it. Let's do it right here. There we go. I guess I pushed too hard and it like didn't bunch in the center, but I love, love, love. That'd be a great topper because it's a lighter shade. I feel like when you do such a pretty eyeshadow, you can grab this glitter, like look at that, that has the very least of it, the remnants. And if you just tap that on top of your eyeshadow to finish it, I think that would be very beautiful. And even if it's like sparse glitter flecks, I think that'll pick up so well. Tapping into that matte shade. Here we go. That was one even swipe. You even see towards the end as it was finishing out, it's pretty even. That's a really nice shade. I'm sure obviously a shade like this, you might not use it as heavily as that. Maybe you'll use it on your brow bone, or even if you're a lighter skin tone, maybe to kind of diffuse the edges of blending. That's a really nice shade. So that, I feel like a bone shade is something you always need in your collection, your kit, whatever you want to call it. So that's a really good shade right there. And the last row, I'm actually really excited for. I just love all of the color story of that last row, which is Poet. I love these shades. I love purples. I love reds. And my eyeshadows, I love purples. I love reds as an eyeshadow. So this is beautiful. And this one specifically, I don't know if you can tell, there we go, from the light of the camera, that reminds me of the main Selena costume, you know, that purpley one with the glitter. That is what that reminds me of. So that is beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and swatch that sequin shade and the matte shade. Or you know what? I'll do the sequin and the metallic, these two right here. Just because I've done already of the sequin formula a few. So let's do a metallic one. So this is sequined. That looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the blue tones in it. So let me do that. Let me do that right here, right on top. I know this is an awkward angle. That is so pretty. Like, I put it at a really awkward spot, so I'm gonna have to like twist my arm. But that is gorgeous. I feel like that would look so pretty. Like, even if you use this shade alone and you really focus on blending it out on your crease, it can just blow out to a really beautiful, very one and done, easy eyeshadow. Because even towards the end, you see how that blended out, right? Well, not blended out. You know how it kind of just diffused out. I feel like if you blend it out with a brush, that can be really easy, very smooth on your crease. I'm living for that shimmer right there. I love that. And then that metallic of Poet right there. That's really pretty. That has more of that finer metallic-y essence to it. I would say it kind of looks like that iridescent bluish tone to it as well. I'll do that right here. The light caught that really pretty. That's really pretty. Like, I would love to use this with just a crease shade and put that as my main lid color. So these are the shades that really pretty much called my attention. I tried to like get some of each finish, but that's gorgeous. You saw that that was one swatch in every single one. So just from that, again, swatches don't tell it all, but just from that, it seems very promising, and I'm really excited to use it on my eyes. And I think as far as what I will be doing, it's a really hard decision. And I did like a fall look not too long ago, so I'm not going to do the orange, even though that was an amazing swatch. And I can't wait to play around with it more. I need to do a little bit different. So I'm gonna do that purple. Yeah, let's do that. And then maybe I'll top it off a little bit with this shade. I feel like it'll go pretty, even though it has that blue glitter. We'll see. I'm probably gonna be in like this area of the palette right here. Also, look at how pretty my nails are.
Bruh, look at this dude.
Come on.
Wait till you see the. No.
There we go. My nails are cute.
Ah, look at the top of his head.
How did that get there? Oops. You know what? I changed my mind on the purple. I feel like I did that recently too. I've actually never done, like, I think I'm going to actually mess with this column right here, which is Aura. I think it's beautiful, and I'm probably going to tap into this matte shade right here on the Soothe column just for my crease. So we're going to go into this area for sure. Even though that one's, this one, we're going to have to come back and do another look on that, but just so there's a little bit more, what's the word, variety on my channel, I'm gonna do this right here. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started on the eyeshadow. I did already prep my eye with the Soft Ochre Paint Pot from MAC. I use this all the time. It's a very promising eye primer, so that's what I have on my eyelids. Going in with a MAC 217, I will be grabbing this matte shade from Soothe, the Soothe column, just to lay down my crease. I'm first just making an outline of my crease with the blending brush, and then I will go back in to blend. Going in with my Morphe blending brush, the number went away, so I have no clue what it is. Going in that Aura, the lightest matte shade, very lightly because I don't want it to be too blown out. I'm just gonna start with that crease and start blending it upwards a little bit, just to diffuse those edges out. And then just packing the same of the Soothe matte shade just on the outer edges of my eyelid. Blend it out a little bit. Going into the metallic shade just as a base for my lid before we lay down the glitter. Going in that same Aura column in the metallic shade just to kind of base off my lid, just a foundation for the glitter shade. Again, we'll be using from Aura. This is the medium shadow from STILAZZI. I'm just kind of placing it. I know it's kind of like messy, but we're gonna go ahead and blend it out in a second. Using that same blending brush to really hone that in. Perfect. I just wanted to use that as a base. I know it doesn't look like much, but I just didn't want, if skin was peeking through, I didn't want it to be skin. I just kind of wanted it to be that like off-white shade. I think the shade will go on better with my finger, but I've already used my finger. I also want to try it out with the brush. So same brush, medium shadow from STILAZZI. Gonna dip into that glitter shade from the Aura column. I covered it pretty well, so let me see how that plays out with the brush. Oh, that was really easy. And then I am bringing it out here. There is a little bit of fallout. Good thing I didn't do my foundation. I did it for a reason. That is stunning. I'm actually gonna dip into Ritual, that sequin shade, just because I want to smoke out that lash line a little bit up here. So there's a little bit more of a defined look to this eyeshadow. First, I'm gonna grab a 304 Smith brush and kind of stamp out that shape. Then just blending it out with this STILAZZI Flat Dome shader. Even though this isn't like a blending brush, I like how thin it is, so I can really get that precise blending motion with this brush. I just want an undefined wing. There we go. You see how it's like the wing is still there, but it's a little bit smoked out? That's what I want. All right, that was pretty simple. I wanted to do something that was a little bit easier with the glitter, and I really like how it came out. It's very inevitable to not have fallout when you're messing with glitter formulas or glitter pigments. So yes, I do have glitter fallout. However, on top of the glitter, the shadows worked out beautifully, specifically the sequin shadow and the matte shadow of the Ritual column. And I was able to lay over on top the glitter, and the glitter was able to like kind of sweep away, or it didn't get clumpy over the glitter, if that makes sense. And I didn't want to do the liner first, or the eyeshadow smoked out liner, because then I would have laid the glitter on top and then it would have kind of went away. So though there's a little bit glitter still underneath the liner, that's why I did it last, because then there would have been more glitter on that liner. So yeah, super easy. I love doing smoked out eyeliner because it makes it look like you know how to do a liner, and it's not as hard, you know, because it doesn't have to be as, you know what I mean? Before I wipe away the glitter, I like using a brush to get any of the loose ends out, so instead of dragging it all over my face. All right, so the last thing we need to do to finish off the eyes are the under eye, mascara, and all that fun stuff. But before we do that, I'm gonna go ahead and off camera do my foundation and my eyebrows. I will actually curl my eyelashes and put mascara on too, but it'll be redundant if I put that on camera. So if you wanna see any of my foundation routines, literally watch any other of my other videos. But we're gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll be right back. All right, we have our face on. I will say I curled my eyelashes, and when I did, I got, I don't know if you can tell, a little bit of glitter fallout. So though when you touch the glitter formula, it is a little bit wet, it did for sure dry down, but I think the crumbliness of it went away. But by no means are my eyelids crusty now and crumbly. I just feel like some remnants kind of just fell off. So just be aware, the little glitter flecks. It'll probably work better if you use your finger and then you barely like lightly tap the shadow or the glitter and little by little build it, instead of how I did it. I just got a bunch and kind of like on me, which it looks great, but to avoid the fallout, maybe do that. Okay, so yes, face is on. I am going to do the lower lash line now. Going in with that same Smith brush into that Ritual shade right here. I'm pretty much dipping back into the same shades. I could have done this off camera, but for the sake of this little mini tutorial / review, I'm like, let's just do it all on camera. I really like, I'm going to end up blending it out with that same exact brush in just a second, but I really like this brush for not only detail, but really getting into the lash line and in between my lashes, because it's a little dome and it's so thin, so it fits right in between those lashes. Going in with the STILAZZI Flat Dome shader again. I like it because you can really blend where you want it. And I'm not putting excess shadow on it. I'm just right now grabbing whatever is on my lash line and pulling it around. Not pulling, that's the wrong word. It's the under eye, so that's kind of harsh. I'm just kind of like blending it around. just like that. And I think that's it. Going back in with mascara, I use the Total Temptation from Maybelline on my up here lashes. I don't know how to talk right now. It's a little late, but been loving this mascara. I haven't been doing lashes lately, and I know that's been a thing the past few videos, but I've really been enjoying letting my lashes breathe, and I feel like I have some length to my lashes, so I'm just enjoying them while I can. I think I'm actually going to go into Aura, into that sequin shade, and use a little bit right on the inner corner, not too much because I don't want it to be like a white tooth on my inner corner, but just a little bit. Using this really thin blending brush from Morphe, the E17, and I like it, even though it's kind of thick, I can really just, I like blending it into my shadow a little bit, so this helps it by just patting it in and blending it out just a tiny bit. See how that did that eye? Super easy. Perfect. It didn't do a lot, but it just kind of uplifted it a little bit. That's all I wanted, and plus I don't want to blend too much because then we'll start getting that, see that right there? We'll start getting that glitter fallout. Though this is not the eyeshadow, I'm just gonna say my little lip combo. This is the NARS Precision Lip Liner in shade HALONG Bay. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. And then just topping it off very ever so lightly with the STILAZZI Shaken Lip Gloss, the lip vinyl. So I'm mainly going to color in all my lips with this, and then just on the center put the lip gloss. There's a lip liner. I wanted something very natural and neutral, like your lips, but better with this look. And you can definitely do something way more vibrant. You could definitely do like a plummy shade with this. Like you can do a deeper nude. But just because I'm really into the neutrals lately, hence this background, it's a little blush pink. And let me show you my skirt. I don't know if you can even see it, but it's a nice neutral snake. So it's in that realm, it's in the theme. Topping it off with a very little gloss. This gloss really packs a punch in its shade. I closed up my palette. Look at all those fingerprints already, and it was brand spanking new, and my hands were clean with the exception of like touching my makeup. Setting my face with the Smashbox setting spray. All right, and this is the completed look, more specifically this eyeshadow. It was very simple. As you can see, we just kind of breezed right through it. There wasn't a lot of steps, which is the kind of looks that I love doing, not only showing you guys, but for myself on the daily basis, because I want to be as true to myself and realistic to myself as well. So that's what I want to serve here on my channel. But as far as this palette, I just wiped everything off and it looks worse. Anyway, we're just gonna look past this, but color story wise, it's beautiful. You can see how the shimmers are glimmering. Again, going back to my point of it's super beginner friendly. It lays out all the finishes for you. It kind of educates you as well as far as finishes, because I know sometimes, especially when you're beginners, you're kind of like, wait, what's the difference between metallic or like a glitter flex or that sequined? So that really helps out. And I think also not having a shade on every single eyeshadow palette, sorry, every single eyeshadow pan it isn't necessary all the time. Sure, it helps when I'm doing like tutorials like this or for other people who do YouTube, yeah, to have a name for the shadow pan. But I like how it was just by its respective column and color story, and I think it was very well thought out, and I think just how Tati explained it in her launch video and in her YouTube video, it is neutrals. It is your way to create, no matter how glamorous you are or beginner you are. I feel like there's so much potential, so many things you can do with this palette, whether it's something fully glammed, blown out, or something you do on the daily for work. And I think that's perfect. I think the story she has behind the brand is amazing. So I'm really excited to see what else she comes out with. It says volume 1, and I'm sure you guys, if you clicked on this video, you already know like the whole deal on this palette. So volume 1, I'm really excited to see what else she comes out with, and I think starting off with this palette was great. And even though there's so many palettes out there right now in this world, I definitely recommend this one. I do. And I know I haven't tried every single eyeshadow in this palette so far. I have used most of the finishes, and I think they blended out really beautifully, applied really beautifully. I do actually want to do, probably in the next few weeks, do another video using different shades of this. I want to keep utilizing palettes, and if you've kind of followed along with my channel, you'll see I have some series and like following up to some videos. I wouldn't call this a series, but that's probably something you'll see on my channel a lot. I think we forget, like, of course, there are these amazing launches coming out, new makeup coming at you left and right, and when something new is out, you kind of forget about the past, but I think it's really important to utilize what you already have, and that's why I created the What's New and True series, and that's a whole other video, but I think the backstory of that and really utilizing palettes is why I want to keep reintroducing this onto my channel, because not everyone can afford every single new palette. I sure can, so I want to make sure I use this to its full potential and show you different looks you can do for different occasions with a palette like this and whatever comes up next. I actually purchase the Shane Dawson and Jeffree Star palette, so if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can see. Once I get that video, I will make a video with that and sort of give you my first impressions on that. But going back to Tati Beauty and this palette, again, really loved it. Can't wait to play with it more. And I love the shadow. I think this is beginner friendly. I think this is something you can do on a more glam day, or even if you're just feeling a little jazzy, you can definitely dress this down, especially with a nude lip like me. You can dress it up with a more vibrant look. But overall, really enjoyed this palette. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I really enjoyed filming this for you. If you're not subscribed already, what are you doing? Make sure you subscribe to my channel and turn on those notification bells so you get notified every time I upload. But again, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye!